What's up, everybody? So the other day I saw this Reddit post and it just made me cringe, right? Somebody was talking about launching 4 different SKUs at the same time, all at once, and they were going to do like $100 per SKU per day on their PPC, and they were talking about all this external stuff, no auto campaigns, and I want to unpack what I think is wrong with that strategy and how to fix it. Okay, now here's the context. In the Reddit post over in the Fulfilled by Amazon Reddit, the guy says, I'm about to launch in a few days. I'm just going to read it exactly as this. I'm going to launch in a few days. I've made the draft for PPC. I'm launching 4 SKUs, and I've gone with a daily budget of $100 on each one. And I'm also spending on meta ads, and I'm spending on TikTok ads so that my campaigns are a set of 5 for exact high volume, then long tail carried by phrase and broad. And in phrase and broad, I'm keeping the same keywords, which are high in one campaign and lower search volume in another. At this point, I'm just kind of confused, right? Also, I'm not thinking of not running auto campaigns at all. Is this correct that I am doing, or should I do some changes? Okay, so lots there in there. And let me just say, at the end of the day, this isn't a strategy, it's lighting money on fire. But it's a really, really common pattern that I see, especially with newer sellers. Grateful for the guy that jumped in there and asked for some counsel, asked for some advice. A lot of comments on that thread, and I thought, hey, this is a great one to do myself. Okay, so let's dig in and break down what's wrong with that strategy and how we would do it differently. Now, first, I just want to back up, introduce myself. My name's Fred McKinnon. I'm the owner of eComCatalyst. We're a full-service Amazon marketing agency. Now, I've personally been a seller for over 23 years, over $100 million in revenue, and our agency's managed millions of dollars in ads across dozens and dozens of brands. We've launched hundreds of products. We've seen what works and what doesn't work, okay? If you like that kind of stuff, hit subscribe right now on this channel. If you would, thumbs up this video, because I'll be dropping this kind of content every week to help you sell better. All right, let's get into what I think maybe are some issues. Number 1, the basics, all right? Before you start launching all your SKUs and before you start setting up your PPC, number 1, the most important thing is your listing fully optimized? What I mean by that is, have you done your back-end keyword research? Do you know what types of keywords are converting into sales on a product like the one that you are launching? Is your title and your bullet points and description written with full SEO to really index for and capture and rank on those critical search terms that draw people into your page? Number 2, super important, is your image carousel on fire in a good way, okay? Your image carousel needs to be absolutely superb. If you're screwing around in Canva and it looks like somebody made your graphics in PowerPoint, your listing is just not gonna convert. You're burning up money when you put ads on a listing like that won't convert, okay? Your main image has to be stellar. It has to pop. It has to just set itself apart in the search grid. And the rest of your images should be super high quality. And I always like to say that I believe that any friction that a customer might have in choosing your product, whether it's product usage questions, product dimensions, wait, how do I do it? What is it for? What is the UVP, unique value proposition? What are the unique selling points that makes your product better? All of these questions that a potential buyer, a customer might have in their mind, you should address that in your image carousel. Now you might say, well, I answer all that down in the product specs and down on the bullet points. Look, no one reads that junk. All right, no one really scrolls down and reads that. That stuff's important more or less for SEO, for indexing, for ranking, but most people aren't just gonna go and read all that. So before you even get into sending external traffic and setting up PPC and doing all this, make sure that your listing is fully optimized from top to bottom. SEO, written product titles, bullet points, descriptions, back-end keywords. I'm talking search terms that are in other language, misspellings in your search terms. There's no need to repeat words that you already have on your product detail page. There's no reason to repeat that in your back-end search terms, okay? A+ content if you're a registered brand. All of this is super, super critical, all right? So you got your listing and it's optimized and it's ready to go. Now let's talk about launch strategy. Now, $100 a day times 4 SKUs, whoa, slow your roll, okay? Now, number one, he didn't indicate that the 4 SKUs he was going to launch, whether that's 4 totally different products, 4 related products, or possibly 4 variants that are part of one product. Like maybe it's a shirt in 4 colors. He doesn't tell us. In that case, launching 4 SKUs is okay, but even before I would put $100 on each SKU, each ASIN, I would really pick a hero and go with that. Now, if it's 4 totally different products and you're trying to launch your brand all at once, unless you have deep pockets, you're going to spread your resources too thin. You should slow down and focus on one hero product, get it right, get it humming, and then begin to launch the other products in your brand. Okay, so I just think putting $100 plus a day across all 4 of them right away is going to just burn some money. Okay, and then the biggest thing that he said, number 3, he says, I'm just going to skip auto campaigns. Now listen, everyone thinks that they know better than Amazon what keywords need to be used in their listing. And I get it. You know your product better than anyone else. You know what keywords people are typing to find a product like yours. So yes, I do believe in seeding some early campaigns with keywords, but I believe that there's nothing better in the launch process than really going all in with auto-targeted campaigns. Now, if you're new here, you can check out, we have a playlist all about Amazon PPC and PPC advertising. It's here on my YouTube channel. Check that thing out because I talk about PPC from time to time. This entire video won't be PPC related, but if you're new, what an auto campaign does is this. Unlike manual campaigns where you define what you want your ads to show on, like let's say you put keywords and you put a bid on keywords so that when someone searches red golf shirt, then you want your ad to show for your product for a red golf shirt. Okay, that's manual, that's you adding it. Or let's say you want your product's ad to show up on this particular competitor product and you add an ASIN. That is ASIN targeting. It's manual. You are choosing that. However, auto targeting is completely different. You have no control over where your ad is going to be shown. And you would think, why would I ever want to do that? Well, the reason is simple. You're giving Amazon the opportunity to display your ad where they feel like it is most relevant and most likely to convert to a sale. All right. So if your listing is built correctly and the verbiage in your title and bullet points and description and everything is relevant and clear to understand, Amazon does a pretty good job of knowing when and where they should show your ad, not just on search terms, but also on other ASINs. They seem to know that when someone buys X, they're very likely to buy your product. So they'll put your product and show your product's ad on X. Now, the only control you have on auto targeting is to negate where you want it to show up. So you can't decide where you want it to show up, but you can decide where you absolutely do not want it to show up. But the reason I'm all in for auto targeting is because it gives you a plethora of data. Once that auto-targeting campaign runs for a few days or for a week, you begin to look at your search term report. And in that search term report, you're going to see where all of the clicks came from, hopefully even some orders. That's going to give you invaluable data. I tell our clients often that even if you're upside down on your auto-targeted campaigns, in other words, you spent more on that than you got in sales in the first month, in the first 2 to 3 weeks, you are paying for data, okay? And it's fantastic data. So to this friend, this guy on Reddit, please do not skip the auto campaign. I would put the bulk of my budget on the auto campaign and let it curate and give you keywords and ASINs and competitor pages and even accessory phrases that are going to convert you. Amazon knows. Use the auto-targeted campaign. All right. Now, again, I mentioned earlier, if breaking down this kind of real world stuff like this on an Amazon launch is your thing, hit the subscribe button. We love to have you follow this channel every week. I'm diving into PPC strategy and product positioning and how we scale profitably. All right. Now, there's also zero mention in his post about what I would call free firepower. What I mean by that is your warm market. Friends, family, colleagues, email lists, your own brand's social media list. You should be driving that kind of highly qualified traffic to your listing to purchase and leave reviews. Now, you have to be careful about the review frequency, because if you just have all 50 of your best friends go and buy it at full price and all 50 try to leave a review all in the first 2 weeks, Amazon's going to catch on to that. They're probably not going to allow some of those reviews to be published. But to be able to get ranking, to get visibility, to show Amazon that when someone searches X and they find my listing and they buy it, that's a big thing. It boosts your ranking on Amazon. So any part of any launch should include what I call the free firepower. That is your warm market, friends, family. If you have an email list, use it. Use your own social media. You're like, I don't want people to know what my product is. I don't want them to know I'm selling a purple garlic press. Okay, I get it. You can be private about that. Go in-house with friends, family, colleagues, things like that, okay? This is a great opportunity to get your first sales and start what we call the Amazon flywheel. Now, one thing I will say, and this ties into the friends and family, the free firepower, it really connects that with the PPC. I would take one or two long tail search phrases, keywords. Long tail just means it's like 4 or 5 words. So I said purple garlic press a second ago, kind of as a joke. But let's say you're selling a stainless steel purple garlic press, all right? So what I would do is there's something called search, find, buy. And what that means is like when people search Amazon and then they find your product and then buy it, SFB, search, find, buy. It's been around forever and it's still a true way to get a good launch going on Amazon, all right? But when you're a brand new product, it's very hard to find you when you search. So what I would do is, if that's what I'm launching, I would have an exact match. I would have a campaign, an exact match for stainless steel purple garlic press, an exact match. And I would put a pretty hefty bid multiplier so that if someone searches that crazy, very, very specific, relevant long tail search, then I'm going to show up in sponsored position number 1. My product's going to show up at the very, very, very top, okay? And then the way you do this with friends and family, you don't send them a link straight to your ASIN, straight to your product detail page for them to buy. Instead, you tell them, go to Amazon and search stainless steel purple garlic press. This is what you're looking for. Send them a screenshot of your main image of your listing. You'll see a lot of results, but this is the one you're looking for. I'll probably show up in one of the ads up. Click on that one and then buy it, okay? Search, find, buy. The reason you run the ad on that very, very specific term is because you want it to be easy for your warm market to find and buy your product. Now, again, that whole search phrase needs to be relevant and it needs to be very specific to your product and it needs to be something that you actually want to rank on. But look, you're going to rank much easier on stainless steel garlic press than you will just garlic press, right? If you set up a campaign for garlic press, you're going to spend a lot of money to show up at the top of the search when your friends are like going to garlic press, I don't see it. Page 2, I don't see it. Page 3, I don't see it. Wait, is that it? Then they wind up accidentally buying somebody else's product. That does not help you at all. So at the end of the day, here's what I do instead. I just gave you a bunch of them. Number 1, I would pick a hero SKU. I wouldn't try to put all this across 4 different SKUs. I'll pick one hero. Number 2, optimize that listing. Top to bottom, full SEO, full image stack, A+ content, brand content, everything, optimize it, okay? Launch an auto targeting campaign. Give yourself a good budget on that, at least $25 a day. You may not spend $25 a day, but $25 a day with like a, 75 cents to $1 per click budget to make sure that you get impressions and clicks so that you can buy that very, very valuable data in those first 3 weeks. Then begin to run some exact match campaigns on very, very specific keywords that you want people to be able to easily find you when you use your warm market. Again, I like to call it free firepower. Say it with me, free firepower, all right? We didn't talk about review strategy. Where is all that? Okay, get that thing up there. And then also, if you're launching it, I want your price to be at least 20 to 30% lower than where you want your price to be when you get back up to like full price, okay? Launch at a very incentivized price and enroll with Vine. Tons of videos on this channel about Amazon Vine. All you have to do, if you're on my eComCatalyst YouTube channel, is search this channel for Vine. You're gonna find some of the best Amazon Vine content anywhere on the internet, and even better, you're gonna find tons and tons of comments on each video from actual Vine reviewers, all right? Let your warm market go for it. Hold off on spending money on Facebook and TikTok, because what's gonna happen, you're gonna dump a lot of money into that, and you're gonna drive traffic to a page, and they're gonna go, this doesn't even have any reviews yet. This only has one review. And there's no social proof there, right? And because of that, they're not gonna convert. And sending traffic to a page that doesn't convert is like the nail in the coffin with Amazon. They don't want that. And what you're doing is you're teaching Amazon, hey, people come here and then they don't buy this, right? Meta, TikTok, that's not qualified traffic, right? That's not warm market to you yet. You don't want to send that external traffic into that listing until that listing is proven. What has to be proven? Well, number one, you have to prove that you can convert. Maybe all this traffic, your warm market, everything else, and you're still converting like at a 2 or 3% rate on that listing. Well, that sucks. You don't want that. You got to figure out, why am I not converting, and get that conversion rate up before you start sending more traffic. Number two, you hadn't gotten product reviews yet. What if something's wrong? What if there's a flaw? What if there's something in the directions or packaging that just doesn't make sense, right? And you start getting 2-star, 3-star reviews. Well, you're really wasting money sending traffic to that listing until you figure out the problem, fix it, relaunch the product. Let the data guide you and scale over time. You just want to throw $400 a day on this thing? Well, I tell you what, I would rather give you my bank account number and let you make that donation to me, okay? Because it's not going to serve you well. So listen, at the end of the day, if you're planning a launch or you're already in a launch and this breakdown hits close to home, let us help you. I personally do one-on-one consulting. You can book that on my website at eComCatalyst.com, but we also offer full account management. Now, I'll be really honest, if you're just launching a brand new product or your first product, our full account management, our monthly minimum is gonna be too much for you. You may not be ready for that yet, but a video like this or a one-on-one booking call with me for a half hour can really save you a lot of money and give you the right thing to do. You know, the goal here isn't to spend big, it's to learn fast, to build momentum and scale with structure. I hope that's helpful for you. Now, we did talk about PPC a little bit, so I want you to see exactly how we scale accounts to 7 figures. Check out my last video on the hidden PPC structure behind our $1 million ads campaign. This one gives you our full blueprint. Hey, thanks a lot for watching.